Hello students, welcome back. This is in continuation with our previous video where we had been studying about the sources of recruitment. So sources of recruitment can either be through internal sources or through external sources. So the internal sources of recruitment are where I'm trying to make a pool of candidates for a prospective job opening from within my organization itself. So the pool of candidates whom I'm considering for filling up a position in my organization, I'm taking the pool of candidates from my own company itself. The HR department is taking them from its own company itself. So they are not looking outside the company for any recruitment activity. So from within the organization, they are trying to fill in positions. So what are the various ways in which internal sources of recruitment can manifest itself? You have something known as job posting. So what companies do is they post about an opening in their company website, probably in their careers portal. So they post about it in the company website. And not only that, within the company's intranet. I'm not talking about internet, I'm talking about an intranet. So within the company's intranet, the network connection which is shared only within that company. So here also they post details regarding the job opening. Or they may even post opening regarding the job on bulletin boards of the company. So this way, internal sources or job posting can be looked at. And one more very important thing is when you're looking at internal sources, when you're considering job posting, you can also go through the database of employees, what the company is maintaining. So this database of employees will comprise of the name of the employee ID, what was the date of their joining, how many years of services completed in the company, what is the package that they are drawing, what position they are placed in, what is their qualification, and what extra additional skills the employee is having. So as and when the employee is achieving something, or as and when the employee is gaining additional skills, it has to be updated in that database. So whenever the company comes up with some kind of a new opening, this database can be consulted, based on which you can identify some employees within the company itself who can be posted into that position. The important thing here is if you overlook the current employees, the employees who are within the company, and instead you go outside and start searching for candidates to fill that position, you're first of all wasting time. When the resource is there right in your hands, you're looking away somewhere and trying to get the resources, which is not a good idea. And it may frustrate the current employees also that the position is not given to them, although they are eligible for it. So we should be very careful about first considering the internal sources. And then if nothing is working out within the internal sources, then you have to go and look out for external sources for searching for candidates. The next point here is rehiring. Sometimes employees who have retired or employees who have been retrenched, not because of bad performance, but because of cost cutting. So for any of these reasons, supposing employees have left the company either because of retirement or retrenchment, in such cases, these employees can be called back to the company whenever an opening arises again. Now, the important thing here is especially retrenched employees, that is those who were once asked to leave the company because of cutting down their costs. Such employees normally, when they are called back to the company, their motivational levels might not be the same. They may be quite insecure. The moment they get an alternative job elsewhere, they will probably quit this company and go for that alternate job because of the level of insecurity which is there in the company. And moreover, it may, for those employees who quit and come back, it should not happen most of the times, but there are chances where the existing employees feel, see, an employee has been working here. That employee got a very good opportunity elsewhere. They served they served elsewhere for some time, and they came back and joined the company. So existing employees will also get the feeling, okay, let us quit. Let us go look out for greener pastures. Let us go look out for better opportunities. We will earn as much there. And then we can probably come back to this original, to the company where we have been working in. So it might stimulate other employees also to quit. Whereas if an employee has the feeling where if they quit once, they will not be taken in, they may not be taken in again. In such cases, the existing employees also will think twice before quitting the company, especially if it's a very good company. So there are some things what you have to keep in mind while you're trying to rehire candidates here. Moving on to the next point here, succession planning. I think in my previous module itself, I had explained to you about succession planning when I was talking to you about HR planning, that topic when we were dealing with. So in HR planning, you can just go through the topic on labor demand, labor supply forecast. So if you go through that, succession planning will be dealt with in detail. You can just go through that. Then have a look at the fourth point, dependents of deceased employees. So the employees who have passed away. So there will be their relatives or their family members. So especially when I'm speaking about unskilled or semi-skilled jobs, if you can just take those one of those family members and offer the position which is currently open because of the employee who passed away. So if you offer them that position, you tend to show out your responsibility. The company, the status of the company in the eyes of the public will actually grow, because it gives a message to the employees and the employees' family, the existing employees and the families, that they are very caring not only for the candidates but also for the employees' family also. And it's also a small form of a corporate social responsibility arrangement which the company is taking forward. So this will actually increase the reputation of the company in a way. Have a look at the external sources of recruitment. External sources of recruitment deal with a situation where the company is looking for a pool of candidates from outside the company. So these pool of candidates may either be those who are searching for a job, who are unemployed, or it may even be those who are working for some other company. So what sort of external sources can the company invite pools of candidates over here? You have something known as walk-ins or unsolicited applicants. A situation where without an advertisement of a vacancy coming, or without an advertisement of a job opening mentioned by the company, in a very casual way, people are just dropping their resumes in the company website, in the careers portal of the company website. Or they may even walk in also, and they may just drop in their resumes at the reception and go back. So in this way, the company, it's very advantageous actually. If the company can manage to collect a pool of applications, they can maintain a pool of candidates and consider this pool of candidates in future whenever a vacancy arises. So at that time when the vacancy is arising, the company need not go out searching for a fresh pool of candidates. That pool of candidates is already there with the company, because some people have applied even when there was no job opening. So that can be used for some time in the future. See, there are so many companies, especially of high repute companies like Microsoft, Google, then Harvard University. All these companies get thousands of applications every year, tens and thousands of applications every year. So you can imagine how a good brand reputation of the company helps in attracting good candidates also. And these applicants are extremely qualified and skilled candidates. Then moving on to the second point here, referrals. I'm speaking about employee referrals. So an employee can refer one of their friends or their family members to apply for a job opening. Normally, companies motivate employees to refer another person. So they will motivate a current employee to refer their friend or the family or a relative or anyone for that matter, by probably promising them a sort of a bonus, a cash reward, what the referral employee is, what the referee is getting. So in case the employee refers somebody and that somebody joins the company and stays with the company for a duration of somewhere about 1 year or so, then the company will reward that employee for referring the candidate. See, for example, Infosys, for example, rewards the employee anywhere between around 10 to 15,000 for referring other candidates. So this is one way of, again, creating a candidate pool. So by these ways, if you can manage to create a candidate pool, you're actually not spending anything much extra. Even if you pay the employee for referring something, the amount you're paying the employee will be much less than the amount you're paying for advertisements or the amount you're paying for a recruitment consultancy firm. So this way you can cut down the cost of taking in new candidates. Have a look at the third point here, advertising. So it depends. Supposing the company is not a very big company, it's a kind of a medium-sized company, they may probably post advertisements in the classifieds column in a very small way. They will highlight a certain aspects. They will just highlight the salary per month, whatever the employee is going to withdraw, employee is going to be drawing. So this way they can manage to get some employees to apply. If it's a slightly bigger company, then they will probably cover up almost half of the paper, where half of the page they may probably cover, and post a big advertisement and thereby try to attract attention. And also it depends upon how much details in the advertisement the company wants to include regarding its job opening. So advertisements is one way in which you can attract attention. There are other ways of advertising also. Like for example, for unskilled positions, advertising need not even come by way of newspaper. Advertisements can even be sent by way of messages. So the phone numbers and all can be collected from different sources. Phone numbers of unknown candidates, unknown people can be collected from different sources, and just a simple message can just be sent out to them saying that, for example, I think many of you would have seen your mobile, Swiggy does that. So Swiggy says, if you want to become a delivery boy for Swiggy, you can contact this number. So these are ways in which you can advertise unskilled positions and thereby attract a pool of candidates for you. Then you have the recruitment websites. Naukri is by far the best when it comes to India, and they have a huge market share when it speaks about the company recruiting websites. You do have other types of websites also, like Shine, then Times Jobs, Monster, but by far Naukri is it's actually considered to be the best. And most of the recruiters, they prefer to use Naukri IDs for sourcing candidates. So you have these recruitment websites that you have. Apart from recruitment websites, you also have the social networking website like LinkedIn, especially for high skilled jobs, like to fill positions of, let's say, a company's director or managing director or someone. The company prefers to go through LinkedIn, where the recruiter will be able to contact a number of candidates who are having high level of skills, who have posted their profiles in these networking sites. Then you have search firms or RPO. So nowadays this has become the trend. So see, recruitment, the function of recruitment, it's quite time consuming and it's quite expensive. And in order to recruit, as we had just seen in the previous point, the company should hold a Naukri ID. Only if it has a Naukri ID, it will be able to source candidates in large numbers, especially if many positions have to be filled. See, for example, IT companies, or maybe even non-IT companies also for that matter. So if you have to fill many positions in different locations, having your own in-house recruitment department might not be very feasible for the company, because again, they may be expensive. Irrespective of whether an opening comes up in the company or not, you have a full-time recruitment department. So only when an opening comes up, recruitment department has work actually. When opening is not there, they will just be doing some kind of analytical work, like how we saw about that recruitment pyramid and all those things. But their actual work will start only when openings come up for that company, and they have to source candidates and line them up for interviews. Now, so obviously, since they are expensive and job openings may come only once in a while, companies prefer not to have their own recruitment department. Instead, they prefer to outsource the recruitment function whenever a job opening arises. So there are certain companies which perform an exclusively recruitment function. Such companies are known as recruitment process outsourcing, or RPOs. So end-to-end recruitment function they will do, from skilled to semi-skilled jobs, to mass hiring, to niche hiring. All these things they will be doing, and they will cater to the client companies' requirements. Whichever company is having a job opening, they are the clients for these recruitment firms. So the way in which the recruiters or the recruitment consultants in these recruitment consultancies, how they work is, they will source candidates either sitting in their own consultancy office, or they may go sit in the clients. So for example, CTS or Mindtree or let's say Vodafone, any of these companies might be clients for these recruitment consultants. So this candidate will actually sit in that software company and will do the sourcing. That is, he or she will collect the profiles and will line them up for interviews, schedule them for interviews, interact with the HR manager of that company, and do the task. So in this way, and how the remuneration will be done for RPOs is only those candidates who are joining the company and they are serving a certain time duration in the company. Let's say they are serving somewhere about 3 months, minimum 3 months they have to serve. Only then the client company will pay the RPO company, that is the recruiting consulting company. Okay, and the terms and conditions will be decided upon them. How much to pay, what percentage to pay, all these things will be decided among them. Very importantly, when your company is preferring to go for an RPO to source candidates, make sure that the recruitment process outsourcing, the RPO, is not charging anything from the candidates. It's preferable to choose such RPOs, because if the RPO is charging from the candidates as well, it will again restrict some candidates from applying for the company, because they have to pay for whatever job they get. So many candidates don't want to pay extra in order to search for a job. They prefer getting it done free of cost. So those RPOs who are charging money from their candidates normally don't tend to attract a large number of qualified candidates. Then finally, you have campus visits. So campus visits are your conducting interviews, campus recruitment. So your company is actually visiting universities and colleges and identifying the graduate students or those who are yet to graduate, and you're trying to place them in your firm. And now normally firms have to seal long-term relationships with these universities. Some firms, as I had mentioned, TCS, I think in my first slide I had, my first video I had mentioned this in module 1, the first video. So what TCS does is they try to build an entire computer science department itself for a certain university. In this case, it was IIT. Or they may sponsor an entire program like the MTech program in another IIT branch. Or they may take people as interns. So in the internship project, the students will be taken in as interns, and thereby training can be given to those interns there. So it serves the purpose of their project, and it also gives a platform for these companies to give them some training. And they can also promise them a job at the end of the training session. So in this way, companies will be able to attract candidates from universities. But one flaw from campus visits is there is normally a trend where the students, they join the company and they just try to evaluate and try to learn some things from the company where they are joining, especially if it's a small one. So they will take up the offers what are made to them, but unfortunately they will stay with the company only for quite a short duration, and after that they may quit the company and look for better opportunities. So entry level positions, normally when you're taking candidates, when you're taking people from campus visits, it might, I'm not saying it should definitely happen, but there are chances where for small companies, students may join, they may serve there only for a very short duration and they will quit. So again, it's going to be a problem for the company if this happens. So thereby, every company should evaluate all these possible sources of recruitment and then decide about the best source, and also evaluate the cost and all those things that goes into this recruitment process. So I shall be concluding this video with this topic. I shall see you guys in the next video with other topics related to recruitment and selection. Thank you. Bye.